I love these because they look like little quotes. So, quote, quote, put a cup in it.
I always dreamt of BMX. Got no
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Put a Cup in It channel. This is Kim Rosis, and I have a new video review for you of the Fun Cup. Fun Cup. Funny name, funny looking cup. And it's by a company called Fun Factory, which makes, as you can imagine, some very fun toys for your time off. So it was at least 2 years ago, maybe even a year and a half, something like that, that we heard about the Fun Cup and received the Fun Cup. And I was able to try it, and I think Amanda tried it for a little bit, but then a bunch of other things came up and we never filmed a review. And then I recently shared an Instagram picture of the Fun Cup, and I do like to include it because of the unique shape and some of our Instagram photography, and people went nuts over it. And it reminded me that we had not filmed a review. So I'm going to give you the basics about the Fun Cup and then let you know how it worked for me. If you have any questions about the Fun Cup after watching this video, you are always welcome to leave a comment. And just a reminder, if you are new here to the YouTube channel for Put a Cup in It, take a moment, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and that way you don't miss one of our videos. Okay, let's do it. First, some basic information. The Fun Cup only comes in doubles. You can either get the double in terms of two sizes, they're A or B, or you can pick a double with two of the A's or two of the B's. So you are never going to be able to, unless you find this on a swap somewhere, just buy one Fun Cup to try. The retail of the Fun Cup is $40. You can find it on Amazon, and I believe they also sell it on their web store. The kit is well packaged, maybe a little too well packaged, lots of packaging. And keep in mind, I got this a long time ago. It looks like this is the same packaging that I saw online, but there's a possibility some things have changed if you are more of a recent purchaser. Easy to take out. I like that on their packaging they give you the milliliters held, which to most people won't mean a lot, but for cup users, we like to know that. And then the first time I opened this, I really ruined one of the packages. Seemed a little like I should have been doing it on the other way. It's a little box, and then it comes with a toy bag, is what they call it. This is a very interesting, fancy bag. It even has like this weird reinforced rim. Kind of like a disc rim, actually. And that pops closed in its magnetic closure. So it's a really fancy bag. And then you have the cups, which are nestled inside of here nicely, and the fun bag was inside. So I don't know exactly how they sell their color variations, if you get to pick, how that works. I didn't quite explore that, but that's something you can look into. They have 4 different colors. So now let's talk about the cups themselves. The 2 sizes, size A, which is their smaller, size B, which is their larger. Size A is listed as holding 20 milliliters, which is a little bit low for size 1s, but not by much. It's pretty competitive with the average small menstrual cup. You can look on our chart and sort. It'll be right in there in line with quite a few brands, but a little bit on the lower side. And then the size B holds 30 milliliters, which is bang on for a large and most menstrual cup sizes. So the amount it holds is very good, should work for the average person, even slightly more than average in terms of capacity. And we all know that menstrual cups in general hold way more than tampons, somewhere between 2 to 6 times. Either way you look at it, you'll have more capacity. Now, obviously, this cup looks quite a bit different than most of the cups you're used to seeing. The design is really interesting, and it's made to kind of taper along the natural spine and curve of the vagina. So you do kind of want to put it in a specific way, but it's more than likely going to find its way in there as it should in terms of the nestling and the angling. So this little tail, this nub is reinforced. So this that you pull on has solid stock, and then of course it empties out. So it's not a stem that you're used to seeing, but you can still most certainly grip it. And in fact, because it's made this way, you're almost forced to pinch the cup as you remove it, which is how menstrual cups are meant to be used. There's slight grippiness on this cup, on the tail. It's, I think they refer to it as little strawberry seeds. It's not a lot. It's really not going to do anything, but it's cute. And then it has a reinforced rim, but you don't have a protruding rim. So it's very smooth, and it does have the world's tiniest suction holes as well. These will take a little extra effort to clean. You may need to fill it with water and then put your hand on top. Do this, go down into your basin, and then squeeze to get any of the gunk that happens to accumulate in the holes out. Even though it's a very unique cup, it still functions very much the same as all the other cups. It still folds, as far as I've experienced, the same way. So this would be a C fold with this particular cup in the size A. This would be a punch down fold. So you can see the size A is quite miniature looking, but the length on these is on the longer side. It's including the stem, and of course you can't remove the stem. So we tend to consider the Fun Cup better for people who have maybe average or even higher than average cervixes, not for lower cervixes, because you cannot do anything about the length. You cannot trim it down. It is the length it is. And always encourage people to measure your cervix first. We have a video on how to do that. And then look at the cup you're purchasing or take our quiz and get recommendations that way to make sure the cup is going to fit lengthwise inside of you, which is very important. How did they work for me? I can only give you my personal experience, and I always preface my reviews with saying that what works for me is not going to work for you, and what works or what doesn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work for you. So this was not the greatest cup for me in terms of leak freeness. I really struggled the first few times I tried it, which was when I first got the cup quite a while back ago. And I had to kind of force myself to continue using it to get experience with it, to try to get past what may or may not have been a learning curve. So once I was in that, I'm pretty sure this isn't a learning curve. I'm pretty sure this is just not a good cup for me. Set of time, I stopped trying it, gave it a break. I tried both sizes because I have multiples of these, and the small just wasn't staying in place. And then it doesn't have a protruding rim. And I think if I were to guess, just making a stab in the dark as to why this cup wasn't working for me when, I knew where it was under my cervix, it was open all the way, all of the things you check to make sure your cup is should be working if it's leaking. I just think that my body itself does not like cups that don't have protruding rims. And some of the cups that work the best for me, which include Lunette and Salt and Lena, they all have protruding rims. And so some of the cups I've tried in the past that didn't seem to work as well, did not have that same form and structure, and I think this is falling into that category. But that being said, if it were working for me, the comfort on the size B, which is the one that I use the most, was really great. And the fact that you kind of just fold it and you put it in, and it just kind of feels like it's cradled the way it should be, and just follows your body. It follows my body really well, the curves and the angling with this nub, as they've designed it very specifically to work with your body instead of just sticking straight down. It has that shape to it. I think that it's brilliant. And then, of course, you will have this bag, and it fits both of them. You can kind of nestle them in. It is quite fun, even though it's a little unnecessary. It's kind of a waxy, waterproof material, so I don't know if it's breathable. I do prefer cotton pouches for my silicone cups for breathability, for the storage between my periods. So I've tried it basically over 1 to 2 years, 1.5 years. Both times they just weren't leak-free for me, but they were comfortable for me. So all that in mind, keeping it in mind, if you hate stems and you really just want something that doesn't have a stem, this is a good cup. Average to high cervix, this is a good cup. If you are bothered by protruding rims, which some people very much are, this is also a good cup. And if you just want to try something different that is, somewhat of a traditional shape with a twist, being that it has a curve with a stem at the end, then this is also a possibility for you. Even the top is curved. So it's hard to tell, but it is just a completely unique shape. So that is it for my relatively quick review of the Fun Cup, since people seem to be still very curious about it, and I have to admit I completely dropped the ball on getting this review done, and I did want to bring this brand as a review to YouTube. It is very impossible to try all the cups. We get a lot of requests for cups to try, and my vagina is booked out till 2023, perhaps. Subscribe to Put a Cup in It on YouTube, except I don't want you to subscribe. I want you to subscribe with no quotes. Leave us a comment. Like this video if you found it helpful. And as always, you can join us for all of your troubleshooting needs on our private Facebook community. Just search up Put a Cup in It community. We have almost 40,000 members over there now. And we are very close to a 50,000 YouTube subscriber milestone. We don't get anything for that, but it's exciting. So if you are one of those watching who aren't subscribed, really subscribe. Just take a moment, and that way you are staying up to date with our content and you help us reach that exciting milestone. Thanks so much for watching. Oh my God, I almost did it. My goal is to learn how to juggle. Did it. Okay. Whew, that's a mouthful. I have to do this in a hurry today. Oh my God. So much to do in so little time.